All right, Nioh 3. I want to give some just quick tips to get you started in the game. If you've never played Nioh, it's a little more complicated than like a Souls game. There's a lot more combos, guarding. You gotta manage your ki. A lot of stuff going on. So I just want to, like I said, give some quick tips. All right. So first one's gonna be leveling. Now the good thing with this game is there's no penalty to respec. All right. If you go to the shrine, you go to level up. If you look at the bottom, which I'm in the way, you can see L3 is reset. That is huge. So if I click L3 and then I press confirm, guess what? I get all my Amrita back and all my stats are reset. Okay. So at any time you want to change weapon, say you're, I don't know, running like the Odachi and you're like, well, kind of, it's not super like the Odachi is very strong. It breaks a lot of ki. Like it's like basically the Katana Greatsword. But you're just open all the time. It takes too long. Like you're better off with like something fast. You do actually do more damage. But see, if we go through here, you can see the boxes, right? So the ones that are highlighted, the boxes are highlighted like that red orange. That's what I have equipped. And then the boxes that are glowing yellow are what that stat boosts. All right. So I have this the switch glaive or whatever it's called. So if I go to skill, it's highlighted, right? It's in yellow. So I know if I bump that up, well, guess what? It bumps up the melee attack for that. So like I said, if you switch weapons, you just come in and reset. Doesn't matter what point of the game, you just reset and respec. Like it doesn't cost gold. It doesn't cost extra Amrita. It's really, really, really nice that they've done that. So on top of that, while you're picking weapons, I've seen a lot of people, they're just strictly ninja all the time. They don't even use samurai. I was kind of the opposite. I use samurai. I went to ninja sometimes, like for throwing some magic and stuff. But keep in mind when you pick your weapon, you're gonna want to pick something. So this switch glaive right now, right? It uses skill, intellect, magic, strength, stamina, heart, constitution. Doesn't do anything for it, right? So I'm like, okay, if that's what I'm gonna use, I'm going to want to pick a weapon for the ninja style that also scales off of skill. So my options here are this for ninja. You got the regular katana. You got the kurosagami or whatever it's called, the little thing where you spin it. You got the tonfas and the hatchets. So if I scale this for my switch glaive, I can also be like, all right, well, I was using dual hatchets, so I can just pump that. And now if I go to my equipment, I think I was testing the talons, yeah. So now I can go in here and I can pick up some dual hatchets. All right, go back in. We can still, as you can see, right, it'll increase, let's just put our last level, increase the melee attack by 8. Let's switch to samurai, same thing, it'll go up by 8. So keep that in mind when you're leveling, to make sure whatever main weapon you pick, that also it lines up with both classes. That way you're not like, because if I picked the talons, I'm not getting any damage from it from skill. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, another thing we're going to talk about is if you go into the start menu, acquire martial arts and ninjutsu. So basically on this screen, you're going to have points you can put into samurai and ninja. So like I've been maining samurai, so I basically have everything here. Make sure you're grabbing, most of this stuff. It's just helpful for that class. And then like it'll obviously highlight which weapon you're using. And then you're going to go in and obviously make sure you're doing you're grabbing, different arts and techniques, and it's just going to boost what you can do and how much damage you can do, how much you can block, you can get more ki, all kinds of stuff, right? And the good thing with this too, with the leveling, like right now, I think I was, I had talons, right? No. The good thing is, like, say I put points into this, right? Let's put a point into here, put a point into here. Now, same thing, if you look at the bottom, L3 is reset. If you click that, you can refund all samurai, or you can go into only currently displayed category, which is for us, the switch glaive. So if I press this, I just got all my points for switch glaive back. So again, you switch weapon, not only can you just reset all your levels, you can also reset your points as well. And then now I'm like, okay, well now I want to use dual sword. Now I can go in, I got 10 points and I can just keep going. So the fact that they just allow, it's such a quality of life update. It's just amazing that they do this. It's just on the fly. You just switch everything, take like a minute, respec, you're good to go. You're not locked in to the weapon you pick, and it's just amazing. So make sure you're doing that. And then when you pick arts, you're gonna come into here and you'll have, you know, whatever you've picked. Like for this, I just respect everything. But say I get another hold triangle, basically there'll be more in the list here, and then you can pick which one. So for mid stance, if I hold triangle, I can have something different than if I was in high stance to hold triangle. And you can go in and select exactly the skills you want for each stance and just completely switch them around and really customize your attacks and how you want your character to just, it's really, really nice. All right, so keep that in mind when you're picking stuff off of these trees. Like, I'll go ahead and do it real quick. All right, so I picked a few. So now if I go into here, see how it has an exclamation mark now? So basically, like this, I can have the path of 3, which switches from, it goes through all 3 forms, or I can do, it's high stance only as well, just different moves, and you can pick exactly what you want. So if I have high stance, now if I hold this, it switches through, right? And then if I'm like, all right, well, I don't want that on high, I would keep that on high stance, but I'm like, all right, I want this on high stance. Now if I hold triangle, guess what? It does that. So keep that in mind, that when you get it off of here, it doesn't automatically, if you haven't had anything in that spot, it'll automatically put it on, but then, you know, come in and customize it. That's massive. So as you play through the game, if you've noticed, basically up here, there's exploration level. It'll show you all the chests, if you've missed any, the spirit veins, just everything you can get. So basically, don't avoid this. Kind of try to, at least, even if you don't full clear an area, at least get it to exploration level 4. Because if you look, first level we get attack +2. And for level 2 we get defense +2. And lock +1 plus a samurai lock. And then another luck +1 plus a ninja memorandum. So that's going to give you the points so you can learn your techniques. That's going to give you skill points, which we'll get into right after this. And it gives you stats. So as you play through the game, don't, you know, sure, you can like run through, but take the time to explore and check everything, because you're going to leave a lot of stats off the table if you're not actively trying to get all these exploration. Like you're going to be a lot weaker than you should be. Okay. So on top of that, if you come to the shrine, skill management. All right. As you progress, you're going to get more skill capacity points, and then you're going to unlock new things. So basically, you can put whatever you want on. The purples are masters. You can only have 1 per common samurai ninja, okay? So basically what these do is just allow you to pick and choose what you want to do. Like this gives me 4% more Amrita. This, elixirs give 15% more recovery. This, recover 150 life after a successful burst break. This one increases damage taken, increases damage taken from attacks. This one recovers 30% arena left at your grave when you die. For samurai, I'm running this, enables you to perform a key pulse by dodging. That's big, that's kind of like a ninja move, right? You get key when you dodge. So now, running samurai, I can choose to guard, right, to get my key back. Or if I don't, I can just dodge real quick, not deflect attack, dodge it, get my key back, and then go back to attacking. So like that's big, but like I said, you'll unlock these as you play. Another reason why you should explore the zones, because you'll get stuff like this. And man, make sure you're coming in here and putting these on, because it's just, you don't want to ignore it, right? Let's talk about soul cores. So once you kill certain enemies, you'll get their soul cores. And you can have yang position and yin yang position. Yin yang. So basically, if you look here, I need 5 out of 7, 5 out of 10, 5 out of 15. So the 5 is what my current stat is. I need 7 on, what is it, the magic? Let's go to level up, right? Put some points of that. Yeah, it's magic, right? So we'll go up to 9. So now if we go back to Soul Course, you can see I have a position 2. We get 1 more into magic, we'll get a 3rd. So I did spec everything into magic and intellect. My like how you can throw like the wind orbs, thunder orbs, fire orbs, it didn't really scale the damage. Now I know that some weapons have, like, I have a sword that gives plus 4% lightning damage. I don't know if that means that now that sword has lightning damage built in, or if there's something else we have to do. But I'm assuming magic is going to scale that, because some weapons do scale off of magic and intellect. But basically, even if, so say you're not going to run any magic, right? You're still going to want to put some points into magic to at least get 1 and 2 positions. So this gives me Water Familiar Talisman. So let me show you what that does, right? I have it equipped here. So basically, if I press down on the D-pad, I get these 4 water orbs. Now, when I do a heavy attack, which is triangle, it throws the orb. So if I just go for it, when I'm attacking, it also, those orbs will hit and give that extra water damage. So that's kind of a cool thing you can add in. They don't do big damage, but it is extra damage. But if you're not going to run magic at all, this is what I would do. So this one, I would take this out. I would look like, okay, Water Familiar. Like they give all kind of lightning shot talisman. You can shoot lightning orbs, fire talisman, and you can basically infuse your weapon with fire. Power talisman, I would at least run these 2, especially if you're just going to go for melee. Power talisman, and there is, where is it? There's one for armor. See, this one's cool. It gives you little shockwaves. Like, watch. So every time you attack, it throws out little like blades. That kind of like when you're at full health with a master sword. You know what I'm talking about? All kind of different stuff. Where is the armor one? Steel talisman. Increases your defense. So I'd at least run, like, if anything, steel and power talisman. And then once you equip it, it'll take you here. So basically, you press X on that. Now I can put it here. But now, on my short, like, also on Yang position, keep in mind, see how it says required is 6 and required is 7 on the right side of the number? You have to have at least 7 magic to get these special effects. If I don't have 6 or 7, I'm not getting those effects. So that gets water damage and auto grave recovery. Not the best. You're going to want to pick something that gives you damage. Okay? But keep that in mind. Okay, so it's kind of goofy, right? Special effects. You see how it has the yellow? That's for the Yang position, right? So you only get the Onmyo magic when you set them down here. Okay, so those special effects that are grayed out only take effect if it was in the Yang position, but you can have 2 in the Yang position eventually. So it's a little confusing, right? So you only get the stats off the Yang position. So keep that in mind. But this kind of same thing. You're going to get a summon. You can summon the different monsters and stuff. I think all of them are summons. So we do have that set. Which, if I do this, obviously we summon that guy. He attacks. And then he'll go away. And then I also have the power up. And then the defense up. So my melee attack is 362 right now. Defense 345 with that on. And as you can see right on the bar on the left side, the power already wore off, and you can see it, the armor's slowly going away. So the armor does last a lot longer. So keep that in mind when you're selecting your magic. Select things you want to use if you would rather have a little bit more magic. And they refresh. Like, say we use, like, you know, we use this, bam, we use this, we use this, we're down to 2 left. As long as you touch a shrine, you pray at a shrine, guess what? Now we're back to 5. So they're kind of like infinite use. You don't have to worry about, like, if you have the item for, say, like power pill, all these, like when you set these, you use a 7 and you don't get any more, you're done. But through the magic, you basically have infinite of those. Okay, all right, under blessings, as you go through, you'll find kodamas hiding, and you'll find the jizo blessings. They're like little, like a line of statues. So basically, once you get these, you'll get a bunch of stat points and stuff, and you can put stuff into here. Now they start at 10, then it goes to like 30, and then it's like 50. So it costs more, you know, the higher you want to go with the level. So if I want more elixir droppers, like I don't do 3 into there, 1 into there, and then 1 into here. So basically now I have a 12% increased drop rate for elixirs, and you'll get more of these as you find more. Same thing with the Jizo blessings. Features currently unavailable. Weird. I did complete the demo here, but yeah. So don't forget to do that as well. Now as you progress the game as well, battle scroll. If you're praying, you can pick what time period, and you'll unlock these like missions. You can go back and do the missions. You'll get like training missions. They'll give you certain rewards. I've already grabbed the rewards, so they're not showing up here. But like the way of the warrior, the way of the ninja, the way of the Onmyo, when you do that, if you go, when you're looking at like your skills, like for this, it'll say cleared mission, the way of the warrior novice. You have to beat that training mission to be able to unlock this skill. So keep that in mind. Like if you see it on here, find another one like this, the way of the warrior adept. So I'll have to find that mission and then complete it, and then I can unlock that ability. Another thing the game doesn't really, I think it does tell you, but there's so much information. If you go into the start menu, under titles here, prestige, obtain prestige from titles. You go into this. As you do certain things in the game, you just unlock whatever. Okay, so I have you can get like melee attack key consumption, lowers the key consumption, damage, guard key consumption. So basically, if you look, if you go back to title list, if I click on samurai here, it tells you deal a certain amount of total damage to enemies. All right. Like this one, defeat a certain number of enemies with attacks while in samurai style. So we got to do 500 total. We're right there. This one, don't know what it is yet. Deflecting. I mean, all kinds of defeat a certain number of enemies while in high stance. There's different ones. You use the different, kill enemies with the axe, kill enemies with the spear. So to really max out all your points, you're going to have to use different weapons. You're going to have to go in here and really look. Same thing with ninja. All kinds of stuff. You can see what you need. Tactics. Defeat a certain number with bows, with the rifles, with the hand cannon. All kinds of stuff. So go through and look what you need to complete these. And that's why it's like I said at the beginning, you can reset your levels, you can reset your skill points, and use different weapons as you go, so you can unlock these, so that way you can come in and obtain prestige, and you can be like, all right, well, because if you just run, say you're just running the katana, you run the whole game, you're going to miss out on a lot of these samurai titles because you're not switching and defeating enemies with the different weapons. So you're going to want to make sure you do that so you can max these out and really get an extra, 5-10% when it's all said and done of different things, and just make your character even stronger. So make sure you're checking that from the pause menu. It makes a big difference. And there's a bunch of different categories, right? Bunch of different categories. You're going to want to do that. You're going to want to do that. I guess the only other thing to really go over is equipment. There's like set bonuses and stuff. Also, there's an auto equip. If you press R3, you can pick agility. Basically, agility A is gonna, the higher your agility is, the higher your agility rating, the less key you use while you're attacking. So if I go A here, I'm in the blue. I'm at 28%. So if you watch while I attack, look at my ki. We're in high stance. Let me go to medium stance. So we'll do a full square combo. So we went down to 556. Now if I put on heavy armor, C or above, now watch. 396. So we basically used an extra 200 ki because we have heavier armor on. Now the game, it doesn't really tell you that. So basically, if you want to be a tank, you're going to have more ki consumption. Obviously, you have, you know, you can recover the ki, so it's not that big of a deal. But you'll have to pump more ki in your levels, which I think is Constitution. But keep that in mind. So basically, that's what the agility does. I usually just like to run agility B. It's kind of a good mid ground. You get good defense, and it doesn't really. It only used like an extra 60 compared to the heavy where it used an extra 200. That's really not, you know, anything too crazy. That's me personally. So if you're running like a ninja, you're dodging, yeah, obviously you're gonna want to go agility A. But going back to the set bonus, if you look here on the screen, it says L2, and it's got like that little red icon. And then if you hold L2 and you press the D-pad, it'll scroll through. So if I had the full Warrior of the East, 2 pieces gives me 5% martial art damage. 3 pieces gives me 3% less damage taken. 4 pieces will give me 4% lightning damage, so on and so on. Now there's also a set that's the Crimson General. Let me put those on. Stamina. We need stamina for that. Okay. But now, yeah, also keep that in mind when you're looking at equipment. Like we needed, like it'll where is it? Does it show now? Yeah. So it's activation, right? You need 6 strength and 5 skill. So now I can actually put those back on. To make sure, like they do have certain stats that you need to have to equip it, right? But now we got a 5-piece set. So we get defense bonus, stamina D, guard ki consumption 10% less. You have a ki pulse bonus. You get an extra 21 when you hit the pulse. And then martial art ki damage is plus 7.2%. So if you do try to go for the set bonuses, you will get some good benefits. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I guess that's really it. Kind of some tips to get you going. I've been having a blast with the game. I did reach out to Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo for early access. We'll see if I get it. If I do, I'll definitely be doing a little bit more tutorial stuff because the game is pretty complicated. There's a lot going on, right? But it's good fun. So anyway, those are some good tips to get you going. Subscribe, come back, and I'll see you on the next one.